Hello and welcome to this CSWA exam preparation video where I would like to go through my first practice set here on my channel, and I would make a link in the description so that you can download this practice set and follow along with me on the video here and practice your skills before taking the CSWA exam. So by following this series of videos, I will prepare you to take and to pass the CSWA exam. Okay. So let's just dive directly into the first question here of modeling the first part that I have here. So these questions are typically built up like this, where you have to define a unit system, you have to evaluate based on a couple of decimals, you have to define a couple of variables, and you also have to define a material from which you can determine the mass of your part. So what we'll have to draw today is this model, and what I see here, how my strategy is for drawing this, is that I see a square, which is the first thing that I would draw. I see a couple of different features. First, I see this cross cut that I would do afterwards. Then I see this circle thing and a couple of additional features that I would do afterwards. So that is probably how I would draw this, and you can follow along and see how I will do it, and I will tell you all my tricks and tips to create this. So let's just dive directly into it. I would start creating a part here if SOLIDWORKS is awake. So here it is. I would like to create a part and initially define the unit system to be the minimum grand seconds and so on, like we were told to define it. And then I would like to define these two variables. So I would like to go into tools and into equations. And this part can be quite crucial for you taking the CSWA exam, because after doing these kind of models, you will be asked to modify your model. And many of these modifications are just changing a couple of variables, actually just the variables mentioned in your assignment. So this is a really good way to do it, to quickly be able to modify the model the way that you're intended to do. So now I have the two variables defined, and I can start creating my square here. So I would like to draw this face initially with the A on top and the B variable on the sides. So I would like to create a sketch on the front plane here, and define the A global variable, so equals global variable A here. And now we see the equation sign here, which tells us that we have defined it correctly and that we can change it in the equation manager, and this should be equal to B. And how long should it be? 76. So usually I try to do things as quick as possible, so I use a lot of shortcuts, and one of the shortcuts that I always use is the S key, which open up this customized bar, and I usually actually just use it for the extrude cut and the extrude feature. So when pressing here, it should be 76. So let's see if SOLIDWORKS. So here it should be 76. And as I told, I would afterwards create this cross, and the way that I would do it is, of course, to start a sketch on it, and I would like to create two diagonal center lines here, which I would then afterwards offset in both directionals. So I would like to offset it. How much should I offset it? It should be offset 4.8. I would like it an offset on this and this, and it should be bi-directional. Then I would also like to convert this just so we have the range of the square, and then afterwards we can trim the corners away here. We don't like this and this, and the other corners as well. And afterwards I would also like to trim the center here. So I like to trim these away. And as you might notice, all these are still fully defined because I've used the convert entities and the offset features. So as long as I have my center lines here, everything is fully defined. And now I can just cut this in. So I'll just use the cut feature and select the middle here and figure out how far we should offset it. It should be cut 1.5. 1.5. And now we have this cut cross. So that looks completely perfect. And then I would like to do this square thing, which we can see from here. Yes. So I would like initially to create a sketch on this face and create the circle and then the two lines here and then cut it all through. So that is the approach here. So I would like to initially do the circle here and to define it. So it should be 38 in diameter. 38. And where should it be placed? It should be placed 27 from this line, 27 millimeters. And how far from the bottom slash top? Also 27. 27 from the bottom. So now we have this defined. After this, I would just like to create a midpoint line like this, so that the midpoint here, oh, I should press Control when doing this, should be horizontal, and it should be 19, this line. 19. And it isn't fully defined what's needed. Oh, it should just be parallel to this. Actually collinear. So now it should be fully defined and I can draw these two lines. And I'm doing this just to cut it all away afterwards, just so that we'll keep the different relations and connections. So here we have it, and I would just cut this all the way through all. Okay, so now we have these two features. Afterwards I would like to do this cut all the way through. We can see here that it goes all the way through this. So I would like to create another sketch in this and here, and how big is it? 3.3, and positioned 12.5 from the top. Three 3.3. Oh, 3.3. And 12.5 from the top, 12.5. And how wide is it? 29 millimeters. And all the way through all. Here we go. And then I would just like to create this one on top. So I would just create a hole here on top. It should have a diameter of 6.3. 6.3. Not 63. 6.3. 8.3 from the side. And here from the bottom, 33.5. Oh. 33.5. Okay, and I am told just to cut it through to slot. So I'll do so. Oh, sorry. I hit the wrong one. Cut. And then I would just like to cut up to surface, up to this surface. And now we have the hole as well, and then we just need a single detail. So we have these two cuts all around here, and also one in here, So what we're told is that this cut starts 12.5 from this edge. So I would like to create a plane that I can draw on 12.5 from this edge. So what I'll do is that I'll go into the reference geometry whenever the features open up. Reference geometry, choose the plane, tell it to go the other way, 12.5. Yes, and then I can create a sketch in this one. Sketch, and I would like to convert this just to have a center that I can draw on. So now here a center has become available. So what are the diameter of this? So we see that we have two circles here with a radius of 20, so a diameter of 40 here, 40. And then we should cut it this way, 1.5. So I would just cut, and I would like to cut this, and it shouldn't go this way but this way. And now we have it here, and from here we should create another one with a distance of 42 millimeters, and I would like to do this with a linear pattern. It should go in, well, it doesn't really matter, it could go in this direction. It should just follow this way, and the feature that I would like to pattern is of course this cut feature, and I would like to remove it 42 millimeters. So here we have an additional cut now, and it all looks pretty good as I see it. I think that I've finished it now, so let's just see if I have done so. Oh, I actually forgot to define the material, which I should do in the beginning, as I told you. I always do so, just not in this case. So the material is ANSI 1020. Yeah, ANSI 1020. Apply, close. And now we should be able to evaluate it here. And we'll just go into the mass properties and see what are the mass of this model. So the mass is right here. So let's see if that is also an answer to the question. It actually is. So D is the answer to this question. This is the mass of this model. So this is actually how the modeling exercises in the exam are built up. So you can just try to model this one, and actually also try to model the other one that I have right below here. Okay, so what you typically will be asked to do after this is to create a modification of it, and mostly you're just told to modify the variables and then just find the mass yet another time and then move on. So it is actually you can actually quite quickly modify your model if you have defined these variables as I did inside my model. So let's just jump on to the second question. Okay, so now I would like to give you my take on how to draw this model and how to answer the second question, to answer what the mass of this model is. And as I always do when I do these kind of assignments and these kind of exams, I do always define these things before building my model. So the first thing that I will do is to start a new part and define the unit system. I will define the material. What is the material? The material is cast carbon steel. So under C we have here cast carbon steel, apply and close. And I would also define the equations for this assignment as well. And the A dimension is 66 and the B dimension is 56. So now we have the different variables defined. And well, the strategy that I would use when drawing this is initially to create the base of the model, so the bottom part here with the holes and this shape, and afterwards I would build the midder section by first creating a solid part, and afterwards removing the middle material, and then in the end add all the different fillets to the different shapes that should be filleted. So let's just dive directly into it. I would start making the bottom, as I said, so I would start drawing from this drawing, and I would like to start on the top plane, creating a square and defining the two variables. So this line should be equal to the global variable A, and well, the bottom line here should be equal to the global variable B. And then I would like to define the different corners here, and we could chamfer these as we have a dimension here and we have a degree of 45 degrees. That is the same for this corner, so 10 and 45 degrees. And on the other two corners we have a dimension of 16 millimeters and again a dimension of 45 degrees. So we could also chamfer these two, and that is what I'm intending to do. So I would start by, yeah, this actually already fits these two corners, and then afterwards I would like to define the two other corners. So now we actually have pretty much the base already. So the last part that we need to do is to do these 4 holes, and I would like to make the distance from these 2 holes by creating a square for construction and then define the different measures. So these holes should be 12 millimeters from the left dimension over here, so 12 millimeters. So what about here? Here 8, they should be 8 millimeters. I'll just quickly do so. 8 millimeters and 8 millimeters. Oh, that doesn't look right. Something's wrong here. I'll try to do that again. Why is that 8 millimeters? My SOLIDWORKS is tricking me. Okay, now it is as it should be. And what are, so from this hole to this hole is 27 millimeters. So this dimension should be equal to 27. And then in each of these corners there should be a hole. Here and here. And then afterwards I would like to add some relations to it, just to quickly give them the same dimension. And what dimension should they have? All should be 7 millimeters in diameter, all 4 holes. So here 7, and all the different circles are now 7 millimeters. So now we actually have the base. I should just extrude it. So how much should I extrude it? Let's see. Here, 4 millimeters. 4 millimeters. So now we actually have the base. Oh, we forgot the the fillets. So we have to create 8 fillets of a radius of 2. So let's just see if we have a radius of 2 here, and how many fillets we should make. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So here we go. Now the base is completed. And the next thing that I would like to do, as I told you, is to create the middle part here. And for that I will have to create an additional plane. And I would like that plane to be right in the middle of the model. So what I do here is to press this face and this face, and then my new plane is located right in the middle of the model. So that is actually what I wanted. And then I can start drawing. and I would like to sketch on this model, and as I just made it, it is already selected to be the model that I'm drawing on. I would like to create a bottom line here. So here it is, and I would like this point and this line to have a pierce relation, and the same for this, just so that we have a fixed bottom to draw on. And let's just see what we have here. I would like initially to draw these two lines, and they are, well, there's 32 here, 32 millimeters here. Then we have a couple of circles somewhere here. Oh, a circle here and a circle here, a bit over dimension. So let's see what this should be. It should be 19 millimeters. And what the dimension of this one? 10 millimeters. Looks good. So let's just get the big one here placed. So 39.9 from the left dimension out here, 39.9. And how far is it from the bottom? 37.5. 37.5. So now this is fully defined, and we can just do so. And let's just fully define this little circle as well. So the dimension between these two are 16.5. 16.5. And what are the dimensions to the bottom? It is 13 millimeters. So now this circle is also fully defined, and we would just have to create a couple of lines to get it connected. So I would like to select this line and this, and create a tangent relation between these two. So here we have it, the tangent relation. I will just cut away the excessive part of this line, and let's just see how it looks in here. So from this point there is it is aligned to this line and hits the top middle of this circle. So let's just try to draw that. Select this point and here, and then this point should just be coincident to this line. So here we have it. Now it starts looking correct. Okay, so we also have a circle in the middle here. We also have a circle placed somewhere here, and a little circle within that circle. So what are the dimensions of this one? It is 8 millimeters. 8 millimeters. How about the other one there? 19 and 10. So 19 millimeters and 10 millimeters. And how are the middle one here placed? So it is 12 and 19. So from here to here there are 12 millimeters and 19 to the bottom. And now we have it all fully defined and fixed like we want it to. So now I would just like to make the wall. So I would like to create these. And what we see here is that the thickness of the wall from here to here is 20 millimeters. So I will start doing that. So here, and select the wall and tell it to be 20 millimeters, and I would like it to be as a mid-plane so that we have it right here in the middle of the model. Afterwards, I would just click here and select the sketch whenever it pops up. Come on, please, SOLIDWORKS. Yes. Select here, and again press the extrude button and select these two. I don't remember how thick they should be. They should be 22. So again, select the midplane, a thickness of 22. And here we have it. Finally, we have this one, which should be 36, and the approach for this is the exact same. Clicking here, mid-plane, 36. And now it actually starts looking correct. I would just like to cut away the part that I was talking about. So I would like to draw on this part, and I would like to create a center line between here and hit this point. And then I would like to create a square here where I pick the midpoint here and the midpoint here to be coincident. And how thick should this cut be? 12 millimeters. Well, something went wrong here. I haven't picked the right corner here. So this and this should of course also be coincident. I didn't succeed at doing that well before. And this should be 12. And I would like this line and this line to be collinear. And then I could just take this and cut it all the way through. And it actually starts looking quite good now. Looks very much like the one that we have on the drawing here. Well, the only thing that we need now is the different fillets around. So let's just see what kind of different fillets we have. We have 2 radius 2 here. We have 2 radius 2 here. And we also have 4 radius 2 here. So we have a lot of different radius 2 radiuses to create here. Oh, that wasn't correct. Radius 2, it is also already selected as a radius 2 fillet. So radius 2, here and here. So we also have to mark these and these. And we also have 2 radius 2 right here in the back. So let's just select these as well. That should be all of them. Then we have some radius 0.5. Where are they? I can't remember where I found them. So here we have 4 radius 0.5 for the different circles here. And I would just like to add those to the model. Oh, I didn't hit the right one here. Just delete that again. So this should be correct. And this one. This. And this. So as I see it, we actually should have finished the model right now. Oh, sorry. We should have finished it by now. So what we should do now is to go to the Evaluate tab and evaluate the mass properties and see if this is one of the right answers in the data set here. So yes, we have it right here. So the B is the answer to the second question. So that was actually the first practice set that I would like to show you, and I hope that I showed you a couple of tricks that you didn't already know. If you like this video and if you like this practice set, you could just download it. Of course, I would like you to like my video and subscribe to my channel, and there will be further practice sets available on my channel. So just look through it and follow along with me if you want to prepare for the CSWA exam. So thank you for following along. I hope you liked the video and I hope you liked my content here. So have a nice day and thank you for watching.